the story of creation yesterday and today, we might say to ourselves, what a nice story. It's a story that we know so well. Well, it is a nice story, but it is theologically loaded and very significant for our faith. More than a nice story, it reveals basic truths about our relationship with God, our relationship with each other, and our relationship with this world. The first truth that comes to us from the story of creation is that God is the author of all things. Our creed states this: I believe in God, Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and of all things visible and invisible. So God is the source of the natural order of things. This doesn't mean that creation occurred as simply as the story says, but it does mean that however creation happened, however it came about, it happened because God willed it to be. The second truth is that what God creates is always good. After each day of creation, we know God looked at what he had done and found it to be good. That means there's no sin or flaw or imperfection in what God created. This story precedes the story of how sin eventually came into the world. We might look at creation today and say, look at everything that's wrong. But in the beginning, before sin, all was good and orderly and harmonious. Another truth that the creation story tells us is that man and woman are the crowning achievement of all that God has made. Man and woman come last of all in this story of creation because that's the order of importance in biblical language. God creates everything for them. Unlike the birds and the animals and the fish, man and woman are created in God's image. They reflect their Creator unlike any other creature. And after God creates them, he finds everything to be not only good as the other days of creation, but he finds everything to be very good. That is because man and woman bring completion to the rest of creation. They are the best creatures God has made. He also tells them rule over the earth and the rest of creation. So the real truth to the creation story lies in the importance and the dignity and the goodness of the human person who is created in God's image. But because human beings reflect the goodness of the Creator himself, they have certain responsibilities given to them by the Creator. They must care for and respect the rest of creation. Creation is not simply to be used for our own pleasure without regard for its well-being. Creation is to be used in a way so that all people can benefit from it. Creation must be respected so that it continues to thrive and not be threatened by our selfish use of it. You know, sometimes Pope Francis is criticized for being too interested in the environment. But if we read the story of creation correctly, we learn that our care and concern for creation is foundational for the way we treat each other. If we don't respect the goodness of the earth and all the natural elements, how can we respect and care for the goodness of other people who rely on creation? It's like the Pharisee in today's gospel. They didn't care for their fellow man. Their concern for their own traditions and rituals overlooked the needs of other human beings. That is why Jesus called them hypocrites. Our love and concern for each other supersedes any other care